venue size that we could afford. And then we called everywhere in town, and because there already was another convention in town, everybody was just like upping the prices. And I mean, you have to use their security, their staff, and then you're talking about security charging like $20, $25 an hour, and then their staff, they wanted $15 an hour for staff, and it was just completely out of my price range. So I just kept looking, and we couldn't find anything. We had given up on the idea. My girlfriend, it was actually her idea. She's like, hey, why don't you call Fort Bliss? They have a big event center there. And so we called Fort Bliss, and at first it was like, you guys are crazy. Like, that was the first reaction, was nah. So I went and we talked to him, and it went from you guys are crazy to show me how you're gonna control this. So we came back and like we just sat here like on Google for like a week straight. Like, so I would find something, and then I would show it to them and be like, that's not a good idea. So then they go back to tattooing and piercing or whatever they had to do, and I just sit there and then I'd print off more stuff and what about this? Okay, I think that might work. So then like nothing was done alone. Like it was all like everything we found was proofread, and we had to create everything from scratch. So it was nonstop, just like experimenting. And then once it finally got we got something solid, we went back and we showed it to them, and they're like, all right, now show me how you're gonna do this.
Knowing what's good, what's not good, and I mean, really, I think it was all our ideas. We all been doing enough of them. You had been to 2 shows.
I'd only
with
been
us?
to 2 shows in my life before we do our own show.
Yeah.
So you are crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess.
I mean, when we started the idea, he had been in the tattoo industry for 2 years.
Yeah,
A year and a half,
we
2
did
years.
yeah, I bought this shop April 1st, 2015? No, 14. 14. So
I think the idea started around that time too. We were all like, well, let's do our own show. You know? That's where it started, I think, right?
yeah, it started because like there was a lot of artists were like, hey, like we want to do just tattoos, and we were like, you know what, let's do it right then. And then so that's how that all started. We're all young in the industry, extremely young in the industry compared to the veterans out there that are doing these giant shows. So what we did was we looked at the veterans. We looked at all these big shows and we're like, hey, what do people like? All the staff is all close friends or family. So my brother is Jordan right there, and then Big Mike is like part of the family as well. So I mean, I guess that's kind of how it started. We got told no a couple times, and then we just kept going back and forth.
Didn't accept it.
Yeah. So we just kept going. We just kept revising everything until they finally said yes.
Yeah. And even then, from last year to this year, it's just learning experience and knowing what to say. Talking to all the veterans, you know, we got good friends now, and you know, they let us know what's right and what's wrong.
What it all started was Iraq. I went to Iraq. I came back. I had a bunch of money, and I was stationed at Fort Hood. In Iraq, it was tattoos, strippers, and bars. So I mean, I started drinking and I started getting tattoos. So I mean, that's how it all started, was because Iraq. When I met him, through my brother Jordan. My Jordan had been getting tattooed by him already, and he's like, let me take you to all my friends. So one thing led to another, and then we'd get tattooed, and we start hanging out together. And then I come in, get tattooed, we hang out together. And then I get tattooed, I bring a giant pizza in, and me and him would kill a pizza while I was getting tattooed, and it was just like I said, one thing led to another, and that led to like a friendship. And then the old owner, he was a veteran as well, and he was like, hey man, like we started hanging out, and then me and him had literally been talking. It was like Sunday night. We went out, and he was like, hey man, what do you think about putting some money together and trying to take over the shop, or like put in for it so we can like have a business? I was like, hey, talk to him, that'd be a good idea. So then the next day he comes, like, you're not gonna believe what just happened. He's like, this dude told me that he wants to outright sell the shop. He offered it to the artists, and all the artists, they didn't really want to do it. So he told me, he's like, hey man, do you want to do it? He's like, we had just been talking about this literally last night. So I sat down with the owner, he gave me a number. I sold all of my quads and my motorcycles, and I took out a loan, and I took this place over 2 months after that. So then after that, we literally put like 15 grand into this, like overnight. It was 2 weeks, and I couldn't handle it the way it was. And honestly, I tell them to this day, if I would have known the reputation and the way the shop was, like the real story behind the shop, before I bought it, I wouldn't have bought it. Yeah. But I guess I'm kind of happy I made that mistake.